Fredericksburg's town square is coming along nicely, but today we'll be adding to the outskirts with an important staple, a peach orchard. In real life, Fredericksburg and Stonewall are known for their tasty peaches, and while the peach harvest isn't until the summer, I thought we could go ahead and add an orchard now. I'm giving this mock 2 base plates so that there'll be plenty of room for all the peach trees. I'll also include a building for the storefront, but we'll get to that later. Now the hill country is known for its hills, so I thought I'd add one in the orchard. I don't have much experience with landscaping, and I didn't want anything too large, so I thought I'd just try a small one angled across the first base plate. I set down a row of bricks, and then layered around a bunch of plates to blend them in. Peach orchards are obviously planted in rows, so I'll go ahead and lay down some strips of dark tan to resemble the dirt, leaving the green in between areas as grass. Next, I'll use some tan modified bricks and gray bars to make a nice fence around the orchard. These 6.5 length bars barely fit into the bricks on either side, so they're kind of finicky to get just right. I played around with putting the posts closer together, but that messed the spacing all up, so I'm okay with this design even if LEGO probably wouldn't approve it. Now on to the most important part of the mock, the trees. Peach trees seem to be fairly short, probably kept that way to make harvesting easier, and their silvery gray branches sprout out fairly close to the ground. This piece with 4 bars, along with some Technic connectors, should do the trick nicely. However, that bar piece was only ever in one set in light gray, The Rise of Voldemort, so I relied on some Go bricks to help keep the cost down. I'll then add some greenery upside down so they can hold the peaches. And boy do we need a lot of peaches. The peaches are a round tile on a round plate, and I made 6 different combinations using red, dark red, yellow, and bright light orange. With 11 peaches to a tree and 28 trees, that's a ton of peaches. After a decent amount of repetition and some pretty sore fingers, we can now place the trees and see the orchard really starting to take shape. On the second base plate, I'll go ahead and mark out where the rows will be and finish the boundary fence around the edge. But before we add the last trees, let's switch our focus to the fruit stand. I modeled this building after the Doss Peach House in Fredericksburg. It has gray weathered siding and a tall storefront facade that I need to recreate. First, I'll lay down a tan floor, and then add the back and side walls. They're pretty simple with the exception of those floor brackets on the corners. Next are some crates full of peaches for customers to buy. I'll put one in the first corner and a stack of 3 in the other. Here's a simple counter with a register on it, and a little table with a scale on it to weigh peaches before purchase. This generic farmer lady with green overalls will go great behind the counter. For the front, I'm trying a new technique to resemble the streaky weathered look of the wooden building. To do this, I'm stacking light gray plates sideways with some random dark gray ones thrown in. And then this section connects to the floor bracket I mentioned earlier. I used some dark turquoise windows like in the source material, and some small brown awnings overhead. The front door is one of those new double door pieces that thankfully also comes in dark turquoise. I can wedge in some modified bricks above that, along with the last 2 sideway plate sections. This tall front wall connects to the side walls by a couple of tiles on either side, and a tile on top joins the 2 halves together. A larger awning goes over the doors that also further connects the 2 halves. The roof is simple with the exception of some curved bricks hanging over on either side, which do a great job imitating the actual building's unique peaks. Finally, a couple of dish pieces make for a perfect 3D peach to act as the sign. Next, I'll add a curb and some dark tan tiles to resemble the dirt where people walk up to the store. A small crate and trash can can help fill this gap by the fence. Around back, we can add those last 8 peach trees behind the building. After knocking over all these trees countless times, I realized that I needed a stronger connection. I found that if I take a stud off the tree and use this 2x2 round tile with a hollow stud, it's a much stronger connection. So I'll be ordering 28 of those and replacing them as soon as I can. But for now, let's spin this thing around and place the 2 base plates together. I'm actually going to swap out the first 2 trees with a couple of bare ones. That's because I'm going to add a crate of recently picked peaches to the side of the building. This farmer from the recent tractor set is wearing the same green overalls as the lady, and I made this small A-frame ladder for him to help reach those top branches. This was actually an afterthought, and I plan on swapping out those black ladder pieces for some brown ones. Let's place him down, just finishing off that second tree. I also have a squirrel and a rabbit that should be nice touches to the scene. Now we need to fill in the empty space by the building with an old truck. This is an old, era-appropriate truck with a large wooden bed. I based this off of a free mock on Rebrickable by DeMarco. I swapped the color to dark red obviously, but I also shrunk the height of the bed by a stud and changed the front up a little. Let's put a couple more crates of peaches in the back and place the truck on the dirt tire tracks. I also have this birder from the Safari Off-Roader set. He heard that there was a really rare bird spotted in the orchard, so he decided to use a tree costume to sneak up on it. However, he just can't seem to find it anywhere. Wow, I'm really happy with how this mock turned out. Sure, building all those peach trees was a lot of work, but I definitely think it was worth it. Not only does it add some much needed nature to my town, it also adds a unique element compared to all those buildings in the square. Obviously I need some more room now, which hopefully I'll be able to update here soon. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time in Fred-Bricks-burg.